Wow, what a rich discussion. My head's spinning a little bit, but one of the thoughts I had as we were listening to the last talk is that, grace builds on nature. Grace perfects nature. And so if you ask the question, what is the best natural set of political principles on which to build a solid polity, I think Brownson would say it's the elements that we find in the American political tradition. And what are those elements? Well, I began to enumerate a few of them this morning. Certainly freedom, and in particular, freedom that leads to individual rights and privileges, particularly religious freedom. So, he really did, in a real way, I think, anticipate Murray, 100 years before Murray really formulated his ideas. But I think the important part of what I just said was that grace builds on nature. So I think the dominant idea that I really got from reading The Mission of America and reading some of other Brownson's essays is that grace is critical. So how do you bring grace into the picture? And this is why he's so fond of the Catholic tradition, because he believes that while there are elements of grace in all religions, all true religions, all Judeo-Christian religions, that the grace that comes from the sacraments is something that Christ instituted very purposefully to give us grace. And that's very strong in the Mission of America. So I thought it was a wonderful conversation. I'm sorry I was pulled away into academic senate. You should be very thankful you weren't pulled away into academic senate. But I really enjoyed Rick Santorum's remarks. I had a little chat with Rick after lunch. I really enjoyed the afternoon sessions. They're very stimulating. I want to thank all the contributors, all the essayists. I want to thank all of you for being attentive members of the audience. And please think kindly of the Catholic University of America as you go about your business in your day-to-day world. And I hope you all come back for another visit. And I want to conclude by really thanking Tom McDonough. Tom, you just did a wonderful job of assembling the entire conference. Tom was sort of a one-man team. I know Bob contributed very, very significantly. And I know many of you also contributed. So thank you very much. And come back and see us again.